Hi everyone, it is Shoaib Mohammed Jami from Atlanta Research Academy. You are welcome to this workshop. You are welcome to this course, telling your data story. We are very much delighted for having you around. I'll be taking you to SPSS throughout this course. I'll be your instructor. So getting started with SPSS, as you see on my screen right now, this when you launch your SPSS for the first time, this is how it looks like. So I'll be talking in this video how to get started with SPSS. What is SPSS environment looks like? What are those prerequisites or those what basic knowledge you need to have before you can able to make use of the app or the package accurately. So while still waiting, just a little introduction to SPSS. As the name implies, as the name SPSS is an acronym which stands for Statistical Package for Social Sciences, SPSS. So we can't talk about data analysis without talking about SPSS. SPSS has received wide acceptance when it comes to data analysis, and it's often the basic package for every beginners or for anyone who is interested in data analysis to learn before he moves further to other package. So I'll be starting the window proper. So when you are launching your SPSS for the first time, this is how it looks like. So if you could look at the left hand side of the toolbar open air, that is of this page, you will see new data set and new database query. So just click on new data set so that you can get started. So we are now in the SPSS environment. This is how SPSS environment looks like. Just like your Excel, it's just what a stack of columns. Your SPSS look like what a stack of columns and what and rows. A stack of columns and what and rows. So we just want a little stack of columns and rows. So, but otherwise, what it differs from what of Excel. So we'll be looking at that at very what step by step, just what a step wise tutorial. So the first aspect here, I'll be taking each of the categories or section in this window one by one. The first, starting with the edge of this window, as you can see here, this is called what the title bar. Where I'm having where my mouse is what is hovering is called the title bar. It's called the title bar. When you save your SPSS with any name, just like other Microsoft Word packages, maybe Microsoft Word, you see the name you save your file with or your document. So you can save your file with any name you like. See, this is called what the title bar. Then followed by it is called what the menu bar. This is the menu bar. So the menu bar is just the menu bar. The menu bar provides you access to various commands, which are groups according to the function, just similar to your Microsoft Word or other Microsoft packages. That is the file, the edit. They are just what function group. They are just they provide access to various function according to what they provide access to various commands which are grouped according to function. Meaning that under the file there are some what various function you can make use of, which differs from what from edit and as other what aspects of what of the menu bar. So these are called what the menu bar. Then moving downwards is called the data editor toolbar. The data editor toolbar. So the data editor toolbar is just what a shortcut to some of what frequently used function that are present in the menu bar. That is all of these what function here, all of these function here in the data toolbar, in the data editor toolbar are also present in one or two of what of the menu bar function. So the SPSS actually make it to be accessible because what they are over frequently used doing what the course of what of one your data analysis or working with SPSS rather. So the first aspect, as I said earlier, is what the title bar. The second one is called the menu bar, while here is called data editor toolbar. This section is called data editor toolbar. Now coming down to the environment itself, you can see that the SPSS is also a stack of columns and rows. So just like your Excel. So these columns are known as variable. In SPSS, columns are referred to as variable. These are columns. You can see where you can see var. So all these var represent the columns and they are called what variable. So the var is just what a short written for variable. But the rows are known as what case. That is each of these number 1, 2, 3 to what to where it ends. Each of it is known as what a case. They are known as what case. But the cell itself, each of these what white cell, each of these what white box, they are known as what as cell. So the implication of this is that the columns actually what defines the data coming in. That is the type of data you want to enter. The columns define it. Maybe okay, you want to enter data for what for age, or you want to enter data for gender. So it is the variable that defines that. Okay, you're able to see here that okay, this is the age. We still come down with that is how we can change all these into what we actually need. Maybe we want to enter we want to develop a data set that has variable like gender, like school attended, like that. So we need to change all these name variable to what to our specified variable. Good. So this case, that is each of these numbering 1, 2, 3 to the end represent a case. So case in this sense, or in when it comes to what to user interface of SPSS, each case represent the response or the response of each individual or participant in a study. Let's take for an instance, you enroll some individuals for a study and you administer them a questionnaire or something of such. So each of these number represent each a participant. That is, maybe you have you have different variable age like that. So each of these rows, each of these rows represent what a case, meaning that represent what a individual or represent a team or represent just what a single entity in an experiment or a study. So that is just the case. While the cell is where you enter your data. So now moving down, you could see that in user interface, in the interface of SPSS, which actually make it to in a way that it differs it from Excel, is that we have two type of view in SPSS. We have two type of views in SPSS. We have the data view and we have the variable view. The data view and the variable view. So in this window, the present window we are in right now is called the data view. You can see you could see my mouse on the data view. This is what the data view. The data view actually is a view or is a window where we enter our data. That is, you want to enter your data. You've done you are done defining your variable. The next thing is what is entering of your data. It is this view we do that, but we can't enter our data without defining our variable. That is, this is just what a blank data set, a blank data window, a blank window. You haven't defined what you are actually interested in. You have a variable in a particular research or a survey or questionnaire you are bringing in. You have not defined it. So you need to do that. We need to do that, and we will do that to the variable view. So I'll be changing my view now into to the variable view. To the variable view, you could see this is another entirely new window from the data view. The variable view, as the name implies, is where we define our variable. Is where we do some sort of computing or some sort of coding to have a perfect and well-defined variable. So each of these columns in variable view, the name to the role actually has a significance or has something to do with your variable. So we'll be taking each of these columns one after the other. So from the name, the type, the width, the decimals, label, and to the row. So the variable view is where we define our variable. So before we continue, when it comes to data analysis in general, there are two major steps involved before you could even think about of analyzing your data. The first thing is defining your variable. That is, whenever you want to analyze any data of any types, there are two paramount things or requirements that you need to fulfill. The first thing is defining of variables, and the second thing is what entering of your data. So, but in SPSS, we define our variables using what the variable view, and we enter our data using the data view. So let's now take each of the column in the variable view one after the other. The first column here is what is the name. The first column here is what is the name, the variable name. So the variable name is actually signifying, is actually what denotes the name of that variable. That is the name you want to give that variable. Okay, maybe the name of your variable is age. Based on the data you are bringing in, you have what age in your variable. Let's make use of a questionnaire for an instance. For every questionnaire, often have a biodata. The biodata what of the respondents. So we have the age, we have the qualification, or we have the school attended. So all these are what are variable in that particular what survey or question. So the name of your variable is what the name of your variable is name. Name actually what represent variable names. That is the name you want to assign to that variable. That's your name. So if we enter any name here and go back to the data view, you see that the default var we saw earlier will be changed and it will be replaced by what by the name we input here. Taking good. So when it comes to what to define your variable under the name, so you can't just write any name what you feel like. SPSS has some guidelines in place before you can write your name. About four of them, about four guidelines. That is before you could able to write or to have a name that will be accepted by SPSS. There are four things you need to ensure. So please you can jot this down. There are four things you need to ensure that you put in place before you could enter a name that will be accepted by the system. The first thing is that there should not be space. When you are entering your name, there should be no be space, no spacing. That's the first word guidelines. When you are entering your date, your variable name, no spacing. So let me make a particle of that. So let me enter let me say okay, school attended. So school, then I put a space. Attended. Then I move. You could see the SPSS display what a dialog box that variable name contains an illegal character. So the illegal character involved in what I just typed right away is the spacing. So when you're entering your variable name, you must not put a space. That's the first guidelines. The first guideline or the first rule in entering of name into SPSS. There must not be space. That's the first thing. The second rule is there must not be special characters or symbol. When you enter your data, you must not use special characters or symbol. You must not use special characters or symbol. Special characters include your dollar sign, your asterisk, your hash sign, your and other special characters and symbol we all know. So let's see that as well. So I'll be entering a name and put a special character. Let's say age, and I put dollar. So let's see whether the system will accept it. So I will move my mouse, I will press enter. Okay, the system will accept the character. So dollar is not what is special characters. So let's try another special characters. Let me make use of percentage. You could see the dialog box display again that variable name contains an illegal character. So you could the name change to dollar. You could see that percentage is what is special characters. So and as such, the application or the window, the SPSS does not accept special characters when it comes to entering of your name. So dollar $a is not what is special character. So let me use another special character. Let me make use of raise power. So let's see whether you see again variable name contains an illegal character. So all these all non-special characters and symbol, it cannot be used while you are defining your variable. The first rules I mentioned is there must not be spacing. The second one is there must not be special characters or symbol. The third rules here is that the first character cannot be a number. The first character cannot be a number. That is when you are entering your data, you cannot use the first character. That is the first letter or the first thing you type or the first text you type must not be a number. You cannot type something like, okay, maybe your question, you numbered your question, then you want to use such a number in that question, in that your variable name. You can't use that number at the beginning. Maybe you have many questions, then you want to have a coding. You want to code the question, maybe okay, O1, then you type a particular word. Maybe O1, then you use QUE. So the SPSS won't accept that because you are starting your variable name with a number. So let's see that. So let me use a number. Let me use 1, which one represents what first question. Then let's use QUE. You could see another dialog box will display again. Variable name contains an illegal first character. That is, you can use number when you are entering your variable name, but you can't use it at the beginning, as we saw earlier. You can't use 1 or any numbers you like, but you can use it after text. That is, after you use alphabetical words, you can then use your number. Okay, let's try that again and see. Now I'm not changing my variable name from 1 question to question 1, and let's see whether it will accept that. Question 1. You see, that is what's successful. So that means that when you are entering your variable, the first thing, you must not use a number at the beginning. At the beginning, there must not be a number. Number would be accepted in the variable name. So we've mentioned 3 guidelines or 3 rules when it comes to entering a variable name. The first thing is that there must not be spacing. The second rule is there must not be special characters or symbol. And the third one is there must not be, you cannot use a number as a first character in your variable name. Why the last rule is that your variable name should be unique. It should be unique. That is, the variable name does not actually accept very long. Maybe you have something, your variable as on your data set or on your questionnaire or something of such is a very long name. You can't just type all those names. No, you can just use something unique. Okay, maybe you have okay, let me have an instance. We have a question that say, let's say, which type of food do you take this morning? That's the question. Then we have maybe it's a close-ended question. We have rice, we have beans, and we have others. So you can't just type that which type of food do you take this morning. No, the variable name is not for that, because the column itself is even not the space. The space for variable name is not very wide, so you have to use something unique. I can just say, okay, food, and press morning, something of such. You see that it's accept, because why is the variable name accepted by the system? 1, we don't have spacing. 2, there's no special characters or symbol. 3, we don't use numbers as first character. So that 3 basic rules should be at the back of your mind while you are entering defining your variable. So that's just little about variable name. So we'll be moving into the variable type. What is variable type? What's signifying? The variable type actually determines how the cases are entered. How your cases are entered. If you could remember, I said that I'm now in my data view back. I'm in my data view. I said that the column are known as variable. You could see that all those variables we type in our variable view has been changed. You are not seeing var anymore unless those undefined variable. So all of these the column are known as a variable, while the rows are known as a case. So where you input your data is known as cell. So the variable type actually defines how you input your data. That's how your cases are entered. Are you entering is your case and number based or text based? That's general rules for entering of data or other case, anyhow you like it. So the variable type actually signifies that how your data or your cases are being entered in the variable view. Are you entering your data in number? Is it numeric or alphabetical? And that's the general. Is a variable can either be entered either as a text or numeric. So when a variable is numeric, for instance, let's say age of an individual in a study, and what is numeric, you just have to type 12, 14, 15, and so forth. But when it comes to, let's say, name of individuals, we have name. We want to include the name of individuals, or let's say name of country. You have to type that. You have to type Nigeria. You are using alphabetical. You are using text. That case is now a text base. So whenever your variable type is what is number based. The type of such variable is known as what? Numeric. So under the variable type, when you click on any of it, you see what a short, a small box with 3 dots. So I'm clicking on that. So these are the variable type in SPSS. These are the general variable type in SPSS, or general type by which what a variable can be. But generally, we only use two type in all of this. We use either numeric or string. In SPSS, the variable type you use, or in general data analysis, the variable type you use is either numeric or string. And what determines whether a variable is what is numeric or string is how your case is being entered. If your case is what you are entering your data in form of numeric, you are inputting 1, 2, 3. You are using what numeric is a numeric base. Then you are going to automatically the SPSS actually what click as check the numeric. So if your data if your data is not numeric, that is a text based, then you have to change that. So you change that to what? To string. So whenever your any data that is any case or any variable that is text based, we will take what we use what? String. So if one does not change this numeric to string, you can't enter what? Text into what? Into the data view. So you can't enter text into data view. So since let's see that for an instance, I choose numeric, but actually I should choose what? String for my data. So let me type a name and you see whether it will accept that. You will see that what? It disappears back. So this is an indication that in your what? Whenever your variable type is what is text based, you are going to check string. It is string you are going to check, and this actually signifies what the characters or what of the text that is coming in. Is it more than, you can just press any numbers, maybe at least 20 characters. Okay, so moving back to my age, if I could press anything, let me just type name, you see that it accepts that. Why? Because I've changed my variable type. Whenever your variable type is a text based, you are going to change it to what? To string. While when it is numeric based, you are going to change it to numeric. So that's the general type of what variable type we use in SPSS or in data analysis generally. So you can either use numeric or you use what? String, depending on your case. Is it what? Text based or numeric based? You are going to define that by yourself. So the width so the width is just talking about the width, the length or what of the cell for a particular column. So the width is talking about the space, that is the space of the cell. How do you want it to be wide? So we don't need that. So just the width is just talking because of the string I earlier choose, which I press 20 characters. That's why it changes. By default, it's just what? It's just 8. So we don't actually need that in SPSS. So the decimal here. So we've able to talk about the name, the type, and the width. The width is talking about the length of the cell in the column, in the variable. How do you want it to be wide? Is it very wide, or so you can just leave it at default unless when you use a string. So if the character you are inputting, if your variable type is string, it automatically what? Reflects your width. So let's leave that. So the decimal here, the decimal is talking about how do you want your decimal to appear. In how many decimal places you want your data to appear. Maybe you have a data that occurs in multiple, that has more than 2 decimal points, that has more than 2 decimal places rather. So maybe you have 2.334. You can actually set it here that SPSS will actually convert that 2.334 into 2 decimal. Or you can even set it to 0 decimal. So you only have one, maybe 2 point alone. 2 alone, you won't have any other thing. So the decimal is talking about decimal places you want your data to be round up. Even though the way you type your data, your data, which is numeric based, is how the computer is going to run the data. But just in the data view, this is just a way to make your data to be very well arranged, so that you won't just have big decimal places. So you can just say that. So basically it should be 2 or more, or the way you like it. So you can just set that all to 2. So that is what decimal. The decimal is talking about the decimal places of a numeric data or a numeric case. So the case and data here are what I'm using it as well synonymous. So the data is talking about the data you are bringing into SPSS, while the case is talking about the case is actually what the formal name you can be using. So the case is what is the column. So each of the data you are entering into this column are known as what are known as case. So let's move on. I'm changing my view to variable view. We've talking about the name, the type, the width, and the decimal. The next thing is what is the label. So the label, as implied, the label and the name works together. So the label is an extension of the name. So that's just what a very good description of it. When you see variable label is an extension of the name. You know, while we are in the variable name, we said that we are being restricted because there are some rules we need to follow. No spacing, no character, all those rules set by the system. But under the variable label is used for an extension of your name. Maybe the question one we use A now. The question one you use A is actually not is a question that is very big. Or let me use the case of or the food morning I use A. So the variable label actually allow anything. You are not being restricted as under the variable name. You can do anything. All those rules under the variable name, you can what? You can breach them. Yeah, that is, you can do and undo any way you like. So you can use your spacing, you can use special characters, you can use number, anything you like. So the variable label is an extension. It defines more of the variable name. Because when you just use question one as a variable name, maybe a person who just glancing to your data may not actually know what question one is. Or you yourself, even for you not to forget that, okay, this is question one. So you can actually make use of variable label. So the variable label is an extension of your variable name, and you can just type see these variable labels as your normal Microsoft Word. So it means that you can type, you can do how you like. So for food morning, we earlier said I can just say which type of food do you consume this morning. You could see that the variable label accepts. You see, it accepts everything. It accepts spacing, and as well you can use number. You can use anything. You can start your variable name with number 0, 1. Use spacing. You can use special character. Hash, anything you like. You can do anything you like. So your variable label is an extension of your variable name. Anything you like, you can do under variable label. Just for you to know much about your variable name. So variable label is an extension, is a more description of what the variable name actually stands for. So values. We are now moving to values. So if you add that in SPSS there's something people often say that there's coding in SPSS. Actually, it's not coding, just what a service name. When we are using the word coding, we are actually saying about programming. So we have some package. We'll also be looking at that in this workshop. In this course, we have how programming, how we can use programming in data analysis. Instead of us typing all this, we just be making use of coding. With using a programming language to do all what we are doing in SPSS. So now coming down to the values. The values is a way of coding. So we actually use that word coding your data. So we have, for instance, you have a question, or let us use this word, this third variable, food. Which type of food do you take this morning? Do you consume this morning? So we have rice, we have beans, and we have others. So you can't be typing in your data view rice for each. Maybe for a participant you type rice, for another participant you type beans. That will be too strenuous, or it can even lead to error. You are more prone to add while typing your data. So rather we make use of values. So values are a way to code our data, especially any data that has to do with that is a closed-ended data, or a closed-ended variable, rather a closed-ended variable, like the type of food. Which food do you take do you consume this morning? Is a closed-ended question. So we don't A closed-ended question is a question that is a what that has what in numbers of what of option. While open-ended is the one that you just supply your answer. Is what it just dash. So for us to be typing rice, beans, or others for each of the participants, depending on the question they actually take, will be too strenuous. Rather, we are going to make use of what of values. We are going to make use of values. So just click on the values. A box will is going to want to display beside it. So click on it and let's see how values look like. So this is what a values dialog or dialog box. So what are we doing in the values label? The values label, instead of us, so we want to code that rice and beans and others into numeric. That is, instead of us typing rice, typing beans, typing others, depending on the response of the participant enrolled in the question, why can't we just use one? So we know that okay, one represents rice, two represent beans, three represent others. So we won't be making use of our keyboard, one typing rice, beans. So and thus we can even make we can have spelling error. Even having a spelling error actually what will influence the result of our data at the end of our analysis. So the value labels actually what allow us to code that question or that option into numeric, so into numeric base, that instead of us typing it in a text base, we can then be use of what of numeric. So now the value is talking about the value you want to use. You can make use of what of numbers, or you can make use of alphabet. You can make use of A B C D, or you can make use of 1 2 3. But the saver side, or to be on the saver side, you make use of what of number. Numeric are what much perfect. So value, I'll put under my value. The value you want to use. In your own case, you can start from 9. You can use any number you like. You can use 001. It depends on what your choice. So I'll be making use of 1 here. So 1. So the label is now what is the 1 representing? That's the label. You know, we are dealing with what with question on food consumption. So our 1 is now representing what food is representing rice. We have 3 options. If you don't forget, we have the rice, we have the beans, and we have others. So we want to code all these 3 options into numeric based. So our 1 will represent rice. So you type rice, then you click on what add. 2 again, you click what you type beans. You click on what on add. While 3 you type what you move into your label. You type others. Then you click on what on add. So you are done with coding. This is just coding. When you add of code in SPSS, this is what codings look like. So you click on what on your OK. You will see that the values has changed. For the first 2 variable, you see it is none. That is, we don't have any what values for it. And not every variable is being coded. A variable that is what a numeric variable from the is a numeric variable initially. For instance, your age. Your age is a numeric variable. You don't need any coding. Just be typing the age directly. 1, the age of the participant is 12. Other is 15. Other is 30. So that is just it. No coding. We code whenever we add of coding. We are talking about categorical variables. We make use of values when we are dealing with categorical variables. That is a variable that occurs what in category, that has what options. You can make another example is education status. The education status may be from you can have primary, we can have secondary, we can have tertiary, and we have what others. So we don't want to be typing primary, secondary, tertiary for every participant. Rather, we can just code that. Okay, 1 representing what the primary, 2 representing the secondary, while the 3 representing the tertiary. So we will do that through this column under the variable view known as what values. So values are used to make simpler a categorical variables into what a numeric base. So that's just the coding. So missing. So the missing is missing data in what missing data. So in the data set you are bringing in. So you don't need that. SPSS automatically generate any missing data when you are when we are talking about when we are doing our analysis. We look that as we move on. So we don't need anything to do with missing under this in this case. So the columns, you don't need anything to do with that as well. The alignment, you don't need anything. You're just talking about the right or left. So if do you want your data to be right or left or center, you can just play around that. So you don't need that as well in this case. Then this is one of the another important column in variable view. So please kindly open your heart in this area. So the measure is very, very essential to your variable, to define, to actually define accurately your variable. So I'll just take a little while to talk about measurement, or to talk about measurement in statistics generally. So in statistics, we have what we call levels of measurement. In statistics generally, we have what we call levels of measurement. So levels of measurement is actually talking about how your variable is being measured. That is how your variable is measured. Is it a categorical variables or continuous variable? So in statistics, level of measurement are of two types. We have categorical measurement and we have continuous measurement. I come again. Levels of measurement in statistics are of two types. We have categorical measurement and we have continuous measurement. The categorical measurement are of two types, are further broken into two or divided into two. We have the nominal and we have the ordinal. But in continuous measurement, I will explain all these terms. Just note them down. The categorical measurement again is of two types. We have the nominal and we have the ordinal. But the continuous measurement is of two types. We have the interval and we have the ratio. This is just what general measurement in statistics. In statistics, general measurement is two, and each of these two has two strata or two category. For the categorical measurement, you have the nominal and ordinal, while for the continuous measurement, we have the interval and the ratio. So let's look at each of these term one after the other. So levels of measurement in statistics is a way of measuring a data. That is how your data actually looks like. And a data is that has two forms. Is either a continuous data or with categorical data. So for the categorical measurement, I said that it's further divided into two. We have the nominal and we have the ordinal. So in SPSS, you could see that the nominal and ordinal is present. This is the ordinal and we have the nominal as well. But the continuous measurement is divided into two. We have the interval and ratio. So the interval and ratio is merged together in SPSS as one, and it is called scale. So whenever a data has a measurement, is an interval or ratio measured, it is scale in SPSS. So that shows that we have two scale is a two-in-one measurement. Is either a data that is interval or ratio, even though both interval and ratio are actually very close or much similar or the same, but SPSS regards them as one, which is a scale. So let's now take each of these measurements one after the other. Nominal. We said that nominal is a category under categorical measurement. Nominal is used for any variable that occurs in category but not ranked. Again, any variable that occurs in category but not ranked or position or in position are known as nominal variable. That is any variable that you have that is in category, but they are not they are not ranked. That is, you can't say that one is of more priority, higher priority or high precedence or something of such than the other. Take for an instance your country. We have country, we have Nigeria, we have South Africa, we have Ghana. So this is a categorical measurement, which falls under nominal, because they are in category. The countries are in category but not ranked. You can't say that the meaning of not ranked or not positioned here is that you can't say that one is more of higher than the other. You can't say Nigeria is more country than Ghana. No, that's illogical. Another example here is sex. You have you have your male and you have your female. So male and female is also a nominal variable, because you can't say male is more gender than female. No. Any variable that occur in category. And again, another logic you get to get is that both ordinal and nominal variable are variable that occur in category. That is, they are not a numeric. Even though I will still explain further, originally or initially they are not numeric. They are something that occur in category. So again, nominal data or nominal measurement is used to measure what a variable is used for a variable that occur in category but not ranked or position. And I made mention an instance here is country. Example again is what we have sex. Example is tribe. We have country. You can't say Muslim is more religious than the Christian. No, you can't. It's not very more logical here. So that's type of of nominal data or nominal variable. They are in category but not ranked. While ordinal variable is just what opposite of is a daughter or a sister to nominal, but the only thing that the thin line that separates that make what a variable to be ordinal and that make the other to be nominal is what is position or ranking. Whenever I want a categorical variable occur in ranking, then you are going to choose what ordinal. For instance, if my variable is country, you will know that when I come here, I'm going to choose what nominal. So because what country is what a categorical measurement, categorical variable that is not ranked. But if my variable is what is a categorical what variable that occur in ranking, that is in ranking. So example of that, we have example of that when you to know about ranking, you talk about educational level or education level. So educational level is what is in category but rank. We can say that okay, those who are primary school are lesser in what they are of less qualified or less what in education to those who are in secondary. Do you see the logic? We can say that a person who has passed through tertiary education is more of higher educated than those what in A level or what secondary level. So any categorical measure variable that occur in ranking that you can easily what position, you can say that okay, one is more higher or in ranking, or one is what of high precedence or priority, something of such. You can easily put in ranking or position in that regard. Then you are going to make use of what ordinal. Another example here is what is rating scale. We do use what in questionnaire. Let me say an instance here is what let me use of age. So and the funny thing is that I will still explain that a particular variable at a time may fall into a particular measure, let's say scale, and at the other time it can fall into nominal or ordinal. So an instance here, let's say age. In a questionnaire, when developing a questionnaire, age for as a variable for an instance can be developed in two ways. It can either be an open-ended question, that is after age then you put a dash, input your age, that's what you are interested in, that is the participant should input his or her age. That's an open-ended question. But you can also at the same time have a option to that age. Maybe okay, those who are from 0 to 12, you can make it a category. From 13 to 18, that's another category. In that case, age is not open-ended anymore, it's a closed-ended. So you are going to choose the category you fall into. So going by the second one, which is what in category, which is what in closed-ended question, that is we have grouped the age. In such a case, age will fall under ordinal measurement. Why is it so? Because what is in category, and at the same time it is in ranking. We have rank because those who are in 0 to 12 are of less age compared to those who are in 13 and above. You could see that you can easily impute or insert ranking into the measure, into that particular variable, and that's ordinal. Nominal does not have anything to do with ranking. It's just category, no ranking. Your country, your tribe, you can't say that Igbo is more tribal or something of such than you, but no, you can't say that, because they are just category on their own. They are just independent category on their own. Then you make use of nominal. But if it's a category that occurs in ranking, like we see in the education level, or we see in a closed-ended question like for that of age, where we have the age which are in group, we make use of ordinal. But for the scale measurement is used whenever our variable is numeric. Any variable that is in numeric, that is numeric here means that it is a continuous it is a continuous measurement. Any variable that is in numeric, it's what it is. It is scale. Automatically is a what is a scalar variable. An instance is the age. And that's what I made mention earlier, that a particular variable can fall into what one measure for a particular time, and at the other time it will still make use of another measure, still using age. So age, if your age is an open-ended question, then you are going to use your scale, because the participant or the respondent is going to input his age directly. What is your age? Just dash. Input your age: 12 years, 30 years, 40 years. That variable is what is scale. Another example is height. Height has to do what with numeric. Type your height or input your height into the question. Though, as I said, that a particular word variable that can fall into scale can also fall into ordinal, depending on how the question is developed, or how the person undergoing the work, or that developed the survey or the questionnaire designed it. So just in a simple time is that any word variable that is what in numeric, a direct numeric. What is your height? We put dash. Your age dash. Weight dash. That's what a numeric variable. Then we are going to choose what scale. So just what a recap of what we said, that we have what three types of measurement in statistics. In SPSS, we have the nominal, we have the ordinal, we have the scale. The nominal is used for categorical variable that is not ranked. Any variable that occurs in category but not ranked we use nominal. Why those occur in category but ranking is involved, like education, you can easily say that something is more higher, or something is of higher precedence, or something is higher priority, or something is high ranked or high position. Then you make use of ordinal. But when it comes to scale, you will make use, the scalar variable is talking about numeric variable, a variable that has to do just with numeric, no ranking, no something of like close-ended, is not a close-ended question, not something of just a what, a direct numeric. Your age, your height, your weight, and amount of money. If I ask you that how much is with you, you will tell me that okay, 20 naira, 30 naira, that's what a numeric variable. So that's that about all these are the major things we need to know when it comes to what to define our variable in SPSS. So the major column that are very essential in this case, just a final summary, is the name. We made mention of what of three important rules to follow while inputting your name: no spacing, no numeric, no special characters or symbol, and you must not use what a number as the first characters. We have your variable type. Variable type is talking about how your data or your case will be entered under the variable view, under the data view rather. Is either text based or numeric based. If it's numeric based, then you are going to choose numeric, and numeric is automatically choosing that at default it's numeric. But if you want your data, the variable you are bringing in is a text based, you are going to change that into what, string. Then we also talk about the label. So the decimal is if your case, the case you'll be entering in other data view is what in decimal, and you want to define it. Okay, you're interested to, you are only what you want the data to occur in two decimal under the data view. This is where you do it. If you want it to occur in just one decimal, this is where you do it. Or no decimal at all, you put it into 0. You can just play around that and see what it looks like. While the label is what is an extension of the name, as I said earlier, just an extension of the name, because the variable name has some restriction. Then the label give you what the freedom to do as you like. The values is talking about coding coding. So this is where what we code our categorical variable. Those variables that occur in category, we want to code them. You don't want to keep what typing. We don't want to keep typing what rice, beans. No, we just want to use something of label. Okay, let one represent rice, let two represent beans, or maybe we have a survey that involves different countries or different states. We don't want to be typing Kwara State, Gombe State, and such and such. So we can just make use of values to code those variables. Okay, one should represent Abuja, two should represent Lagos, and as such. So while the last column that is very essential is what is the measurement. We said that there are three levels of measurement of variable in SPSS. It is either nominal, ordinal, or scalar. The nominal is any measurement, any variable that occur in category, but not in rank, not in ranking, like your country, like your race, like your tribe, like your religion, is what is not in rank. While ordinal is what is a daughter of, is a sister of nominal. It is a ordinal measurement. Ordinal variable is a variable that is in category but ranked. Nominal is category not ranked. Ordinal is category then what ranked, like your education status. So your education status is in rank. You can easily say that okay, those in secondary school are of higher what higher status than those what in primary school. While the scalar is any variable that occur what in scale that occur in numeric. So we stop here for this video. Thank you for staying by. If you have any question or have any queries, kindly drop them on the group, or when we go live by the end of what or by the end of the week, any question you have, we are going to answer to them. So in the next video, we'll be talking about entering of data. So we just see how we can actually uh create our variables, that is define our variable. As I said, that there are two major things involved in creating a data set. You define your variable, then you enter data. What we just saw in this video is just a general introduction to SPSS and how to define our variables. So in the next video, I'll be taking you how to enter your data and any other related thing. Thank you for staying by. I'm your instructor, Shuaib Muhammad James. Thank you for staying by. Oh.